Hey guys, Mike here with another episode of Firearms with Mike, and I am shooting the IDPA Classifier in this footage, which was held at the Woburn Sportsman's Association this past weekend in the rain. Thankfully, it was not a downpour, but as you can see, I am standing in about 2 inches of water, which definitely made the reload a little bit difficult, and my feet were wet. But I'm not going to use any of that as an excuse, because I think excuses are dumb. So what I'm doing here on this first leg, I think we're at about 7 yards, and we're doing 2 center mass, 1 shot to the head, and each one of those is its own string on each target. We're starting squared off with the center target, and so you kind of have to turn your body to hit the left-hand target and the right-hand target, and then that's where you're going to see the most inconsistency. I was always taught that if you're going to engage a target, you should be squared off to it, but this was putting us in a position where we couldn't start squared off to it. So I just tried to turn my body, and I think that ended up hurting my accuracy, and in the end it ended up hurting up my overall time. Did some weak hand shooting there. You can see we did 1 on each target. Here we're starting facing away from the targets, and we're going to engage 1 to the chest. I did have a hesitation on that first one, which cost me a little bit of time. And then we did a reload. Now this was supposed to be a slide lock reload, and typically in a competition, you would drop the mag to the ground. But you might understand why I was a little hesitant to do that. I only have 4 magazines, and by shooting custom defense pistol, I have 3 8-round magazines, 1 7-round magazine. So that's a 31 rounds total that I can have on me. And to shoot these stages, we need 30 rounds. So I'm cutting it really close. So here we are. We're taking a look at the targets. You get docked for the missed headshots. So you can see I did miss 1 headshot. I do have all 10 shots, I think, on target. On this one, maybe? Yeah, it looks like it. Maybe 9, something like that. But I know I only missed 2 rounds, I think, during the whole day. But each one of those missed headshots, which there is at least 1 missed headshot on each target, is in itself 5 points down, and then you score the rest of the rings. So I think for this stage, out of 30 shots, all 30 landed on target, I think, and I was 29 points down overall. Half of that was due to the missed headshots. So those missed headshots really cost me a lot. You can see on this third target, I think I just barely hit the seam on the first 2 on the left there. But then you have the one to the right that is clearly a huge miss. So for me, that just shows me that I need to be practicing on my Mozambique drill, which is the 2 to the chest, 1 to the head, 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. I'll line up several targets and I'll work on that. Right now we're shooting stage 3, which yes is out of order, but we had to do it this way due to some flooding issues on the course. And this was my worst stage. And from what I understand, this is the stage that a lot of guys struggle with. And it's mainly due to, you have the combination of the distance. We're shooting at 25 yards here. And then you're using cover, which means you got to lean. And a lot of guys have trouble with the leaning and using cover. One of the guys that was shooting with us told us that on his first classifier, he got 3 or 4 procedurals on this stage alone because of his failure to use cover. So you can see on this one now, you start off at 25 yards, you do the tactical reload. So on that one, you do have to have retention, and you have to perform that reload before leaving cover. Someone did, during the day, reload on the move, and they were hit with a procedural for that. And then here you see we're shooting at, I think this is 15 yards from low cover, just engaging all those targets. Here you can see all my targets. It's not pretty. A lot of them low. You see low to the left on that first target. Center target I think is consistently low across the board. Yeah, it's just all over the place down low. And then we'll take a look at the target on the right too. And John, who's the SO for our lane here, was telling me that the issue in his opinion was due to my sight picture. And not my sight alignment, but my sight picture. So there's 2 components of aiming. Sight alignment and sight picture. Sight alignment is making sure that your front sight posts and your rear sight posts are level. They're lined up properly. Then your sight picture is how you have those aligned sights on your target. And mine was too low. I was looking, what he said, over my sights to see the targets, and that is bad. You should always be focused on your front sight. So I went into this last stage here telling myself I need to focus on my front sight. I need to focus on my front sight. And my accuracy on this course, I think, really shows the result of my focus. You can see we started off walking from 10 yards to 5 yards, and then we retreated 5 yards to 10 yards, and then here we did, slide lock reload, engaging targets. One more. We're doing strong hand, 2 shots each, strong hand only, which is not as difficult as you might think. The weak hand was a little tough, but I felt pretty good about this stage. And when we go down range, you'll see that I actually did the best on this stage, and I think it's because of my mindset going in. We had a little bit of controversy over how many shots I got on target on this one. 2 of them pretty much landed on top of each other, which was pretty neat, and I joked that it would be awesome if they were consecutive shots. But, I mean, looking at the tightness of my groups on this last stage really shows what going into the match, or going into the round, or the course of fire with the right mindset really does. A couple outliers on this last one, but on that center target that I was squared up to, I was only 4 down overall. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful. Please let me know in the comments and check back for more.